St. Wilfred College of Arts, Commerce, Science, Panvel has started this lecture series. My name is Rajshree Mhatre from CSIT department. Subject name is Software Project Management, Lecture 9. Today we will learn about the Albrecht function point analysis. Albrecht function point analysis is a method where data or the standard method is measured to develop the software for the user point of view. This will help us to measure the originally estimated function or increase the popularity in an international function point for the user. This will help us to understand the estimation by in measuring point. This Albrecht function point is actually a method, okay, for measuring the standard or for measuring the different software developments from the user's point. It is an inception by the International Function Point Users Group, that is IFPUG, in 1986. Next is how we can apply this. Let us know about the Albrecht function point. Determine the number of components, that is EI, EO, EQ, ILF, and ELF. EI is external input, external output, external query, internal function, internal log files, and external log files. Okay. Now, EI is the number of external inputs that will across the boundaries of a data, and this will help us to understand. For example is that is library card number. Example is library card number. Enter an existing pattern of an library number. जब हम लाइब्रेरी में जाते हैं तब एक हमारा यूनिक नंबर होता है, वो एंटर अगर करो तो आपको आपकी डिटेल्स दिखेंगे. दैट लाइब्रेरी कार्ड नंबर इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एन EI, दैट इज एक्सटर्नल इनपुट. ओके, हम कीबोर्ड से जो इनपुट डालते हैं, इट विल passes the boundary line of the process. Next is EO, number of external output. These are elementary process in which divert data passes across the boundaries from inside to outside. In example, for library database system, where display a list of a book checked out, display a list of books checked out by a patron. Now here it will display all the books list that the patron have took. Next is EQ, a number of external queries. These are elementary process which both input and output component that results in a data retrieval from one or more internal logical files and external interface files. For example, library-based system. Library database systems determines what book is currently checked out to the patron. जितने भी बुक्स पैटर्न ने चेकआउट किए हैं या इशू किए हैं, उस बुक की सारी लिस्ट आ जाएगी. ओके, दिस इज नथिंग बट ये इनपुट भी है और आउटपुट भी है. इनपुट क्योंकि हम डेटा देख रहे हैं, आउटपुट क्योंकि वो डेटा दिखा रहा है. नेक्स्ट इज internal log files. The number of internal log files, these are the user identifier group for logical related data resides entirely with the application boundaries that are maintained through an external input. For example, library database system, the file of books in the library. कितने बुक्स है उसका फाइल जो हम मेंटेन करेंगे या जो डॉक्यूमेंट करेंगे, लॉजिकली अ ग्रुप ऑफ फाइल्स. अगर साइंस के बुक्स है तो एक फाइल में साइंस के बुक्स के सारा डेटा रखा जाएगा. दिस इज नथिंग अ इंटरनल लॉग फाइल्स. Next is external log files. The number of external log files, these are the users identifier group of logical related data, okay, that are used to refer the purposes only and which will reside entirely outside the system. For an example, the transition of the library billing system. And now this is what it is going to be an outside the system. ना check in हो रही है book, ना check out हो रहा है book, ना list of books है. It's just a bill, invoice bill, which is being generated for the patron, for a person. Okay, this is a logical group which is used actually. Next is function point mark 2. MK2 is also known as MK2 function and point analysis. Actually, developers are responsible to generate an accurate estimate which will affect for the efforts of cost, technology, tools, everything which will be required to deliver a software. Okay. Now what the developers will do, डेवलपर्स आर टोटली रिस्पॉन्सिबल है कि जो भी कॉस्ट एस्टिमेट होगा फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अ सॉफ्टवेयर वो कुछ भी हो सकता है मतलब इट डिफरेंट मतलब डिफरेंटली वो इट ऑल्सो कंपेयर टू अ डिफरेंट सॉल्यूशन technology and tools that will help us to assess the effort and cost estimation. Cost estimation matlab judging. Okay. Next is, sorry, cosmic full function points. In cosmic function points are the unit of measures of software functional size. Cosmic files is nothing but, yeah, cosmic function point is nothing but it's a measuring unit which will help us to measure the planning and the management of the software, which is very useful for planning and which is very useful for planning and managing. This measuring software process is also called as functional size management. Functional size measurement. Okay, this is nothing but the unit of measures which will help us to which is very helpful for us or very useful for us to plan and measure the software, for managing the software with all the related with also with all the related activities. This process of measuring is called functional size measurement. Next, how we can calculate the function point. Function points are calculated by counting screens, reports, queries, files, database tables, objects. They are also known in FP, that is function point, parlance as external input, external output, external inquiries, internal logical files, and external logic files. Okay, how we are going to calculate it with a different counting calculation with a different counting access, that is screens, reports, queries, files, internal files, external queries, internal logical files, and external logical files. There are many things which will help us to calculate the function point. Next is COCOMO 2. It is actually the next version of next original version of constructive cost models and is developed by University of Southern California. It is a model that allows one to estimate the cost, efforts, and the schedule when the planning a new software development activities. Now, when we are making a new product or new software, and we need to analyze the estimation cost of that product, the COCOMO will help us to analyze it. Okay, COCOMO model will help us to understand it. It will help us to plan a new software via development activities. वो हमें बताएगा that will help us to it will help to schedule and effort schedule the efforts and the cost estimation. हम ऐसा भी बोल सकते हैं कि अगर कोकोमो मॉडल हम यूज करें तो it will help us to or it will help us to manage it more easily and more quickly. Okay. See, it consists of three sub-models. One is end user program, next is application generators, and third is infrastructure. Let's look in detail. See, end user programming. Application generators are used in the sub-models. End user writes a code by using these application generators. Now, what are the end users? The person who's going to use this or who's going to write a coding language will help us to write this application. With the help with this application, they will use the programming codes or they will write the programming codes. For example, it can be a spreadsheet, report generator, etc. Next, intermediate sector. Intermediate sector, they are divided into three parts. One is application generator and composite aid. Next is application composition sector, and third one is system integration. We'll see in details. See, first is application generators and composition aids. Aids we can say uh, quick and क्या बोल सकते हैं हम क्विक रिस्पॉन्स और बेस्ट आइडियाज और इलाज किसी चीज का ओके किसी चीज का इलाज या उसका सॉल्यूशन हम बोल सकते हैं बेस्ट सॉल्यूशन जो कैटेगरी लार्जली प्रीपैक्ड होती है इसकी कैपेबिलिटी फॉर यूजर प्रोग्रामिंग व्हाट दे डू दे प्रोडक्ट आर यूजेबल इन द कंपोनेंट वो बार बार प्रोडक्ट यूज हो जाते हैं तो टू मेक अ परफेक्ट वन वो ये कंपोजिशन एड यूज करते हैं okay they are using this solution for this typically operating in this sectors are मतलब जो already typically ये solutions हमें दे रहे हैं market में वो है Microsoft है next is Lotus Oracle IBM Borland and Novell there are some sectors or some typically firms who are giving this solution pre-packed solution for us for user for programming. Next is application complexity sector. Now what happens here in this category, they are handled a pre-packed solutions. They are giving a pre-packed solution, which includes a GIU, database and database systems, databases, domain specific components such as financially, medically, industrial process and control packages. And what happens in this application composer system, they're actually giving a proper solution only pre-packed solution for us which contains some components, some specific components which will help us in financial, medical and industrial process control package. Next is system integrators. This category will deal with the large scale and the highly embedded systems. What is embedded systems? Embedded system is a combination of hardware and software which are used for a specific purpose or which are used for designing a specific product. Next is infrastructure sector. What happens here? This category provides infrastructure for a software development like operating system, database management system, user interface management system, networking system, etc. And this, they will help us to give an infrastructure to develop our software. And there are some topics or there are some examples they have given. Next is stage of COCOMO 2. There are 3 stages of COCOMO 2, that is stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. What is the first stage then? It's suppose estimation for prototypes. Prototyping concept has been, I guess, completed in section 3, lecture 3 or lecture 4. You can get that video. Then it will support the estimation of prototypes. For this, the user application composition estimation model. This model we use for the prototyping stage of application generate a system integration. Now what happens here? This estimation model cost, yeah, application consumption estimation model will help us to understand the prototype stage of application, or it will generate a system integration, which will help us to understand the actual estimate problem or estimation of the COCOMO model or the model of a product which we are going to use. Next is stage 2. It supposes estimation in a highly designed stage of a project when we less known about it. For this, it is used early design estimation model. ठीक है, जहाँ पे फर्स्ट स्टेज में हमने प्रोटोटाइप स्टेज को एप्लीकेट करने के लिए या जनरेट करने के लिए स्टेज 1 यूज किया था, जिस एप्लीकेशन का नाम था या द मॉडल का नाम था application composition estimate model. Now there is another model which is early design estimation model. This will help us to design phase which is very early, जहाँ पे हमें प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में कुछ खास पता नहीं है या न्यूली प्रोजेक्ट है. This project model will early design the stage of application generators, infrastructures and system integration. This project will design some specific or important modules of the project. Next is stage 3. It supposes estimations in the post-architecture stage of a project. For this, it uses post-architecture estimation model. This model is used after a completion of a detailed architecture of application, generators, infrastructure, and system integration. See, these three topics or these three phase has been completed. After completing this three-stage architecture of application, infrastructure, and system integration, we are using this post-architecture estimation model. Why this post-architecture stage? It will support the estimation of an architecture at this stage of a project. हमें यहाँ पे जो ये पोस्ट आर्किटेक्चर एस्टिमेशन मॉडल है वो हेल्प करेगा टू एस्टिमेट और टू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉस्ट ऑफ एन आर्किटेक्चर और कॉस्ट ऑफ एन पोस्ट आर्किटेक्चर स्टेज ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट में जो आर्किटेक्ट करने के लिए या हम बोल सकते हैं हाँ उसको डेवलप करने उसको एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए उसको बनाने के लिए जो अमाउंट लगेगा जो कॉस्ट लगेगा वो यहाँ पे हमें प्रीली या पोस्टली जनरेट हो सकता है. Okay, this will always help us to understand. See, COCOMO model is already a based model which will help us to understand the differentiation of the past models and the newly models. COCOMO model एक तो overall खुद what we say खुद पूरा का पूरा self dominant सॉफ्टवेयर है जिसमें डिजाइनिंग फेज, एप्लीकेशन फेज, आर्किटेक्चर फेज, अलग अलग जनरेशन मतलब the application generators, infrastructure and system integrations use होते हैं, which will help us to understand the estimation cost perfectly. Not exactly same amount or same thing, but it will help us. It will help us to at least estimate the size and the measure of the project. Even after completing this COCOMO model, or with the help of this COCOMO model, many projects can be done easily with this models. They it will see ऐसे बहुत सारे मॉडल्स हैं हम जो हम यूज कर लेते हैं जैसे लास्ट लेक्चर्स में हमने देखा there are many models like V model, Spring model, waterfall models. What they are going to do, they are going to generate a database where we are going to use how that data is to be tested. Okay, how the data is to be tested. Now this model will make us understand कि वो testing करने के लिए या वो जो डिजाइन करने के लिए प्लानिंग करने के लिए हम जो अमाउंट या कॉस्ट यूज करेंगे estimate जो यूज करेंगे that will help us to estimate here. So this is nothing but about the COCOMO model. We will see at the next chapter. We will continue in next chapter. Thank you. You can just view on before last videos that you will get the detailed about some basic topics like estimation, what is estimation, why we are using softwares, what are function points, what are estimation, actually effort estimation, what is software efforts estimation. You can go there, you can just click on the video and you can have an overview. Let me know how you love this video. Thank you for your